You guys have been such influential and powerful female athletes. And first of all, when did you sort of realize that you had that power? And secondly, like, how often do you think about that legacy that you're creating right now and inspiring the next generation? Like me.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, okay. I don't think I'm trying to think, it might be better if you, I'll go. I don't think I've realized it until recently, to be honest. What's unique about playing as long as I have is that I've really experienced, like, from a female athlete perspective, like how different things are from when I first got drafted to now. And I mean, dramatically different, you know? So I see it I see it in Megan. I see it in some of my younger teammates, just like the things they say, that their expectations, like, of course we're going to push the envelope. When I first came into the league, you just kind of like fell in line with everybody else. And that's just, you kind of just did with whatever it was they were telling you to do. You never questioned it. So I really didn't like fully grasp it. It's almost like a total mindset change until fairly recently. But with that, at the same time, just like as a basketball player, I would say 5 years ago, we started this rebuild with the Storm. So we've been really successful for a long time. And then it was like rebuild. And I was the last player standing, so to speak. And we drafted these 2 young players, Jewel Lloyd, Brianna Stewart. That was when I realized, like, oh, I can really kind of like leave my fingerprints all over them, all over this franchise. And that's when legacy started to like creep in as more important than winning. Because for so long, all I cared about, as long as I win, as long as I'm a winner, no one can ever argue with that. No one can tell me different. Like, I'm good. And that's all that matters in your legacy. And it's actually, I mean, even though with Kobe Bryant's passing, like a lot of his quotes have come out, you know, more and more, people obviously talking about it more. But there was one thing that he said that I remember when he said it. And he was like, yeah, there's going to be another MVP. That quote, he's like, there's going to be another scoring, you know, champion, another MVP. But it's like what the mark you leave in other ways. And I was like, yes, that makes sense to me. And that's when, from like a basketball player standpoint, I started to focus on it. So it was probably when those guys got drafted. So a couple years ago.
I think for me, it happened a little bit differently because I have the unique experience of basically, I mean, we have a league now. It's been, I think we're about to go in our 8th year. We've had one before, but like our stability has been with the national team. So we have like the unique experience of essentially playing in like a 1-team league that represents America all the time. So we have like sort of that benefit, and we travel all around the country, and it's like, everyone can just hop on our bandwagon and sort of cheer for us. So I think like early on in my career, I kind of realized that a little bit. And I think we're also sort of like coming, you know, especially me, I think it was, you know, you were in the league before this, but where athletes' voices like are more sought after, and it is more important, and we're putting more emphasis, and it's becoming more important and sort of more socially acceptable for athletes to speak out. And we're actually kind of at the point now where it's like, if you're not speaking out, then you're sort of saying something. And so I think with all of like the fights that we've had, I think our team sort of knew that kind of early of like, wow, we have this platform where it's not just one franchise or one league or one team. We're kind of representing America all the time, not only domestically, but then kind of on the global stage. And I think just gaining that kind of confidence early. And now we're getting, you know, in, like I said, into the era where athletes are more willing to speak up, and we're encouraging them more. And so I think like having that confidence for all of us to just like dive in to all these issues. And I also think kind of what you're saying about like, what else are you doing other than your sport? Like we're all like just normal people at the end of the day. So whether, you know, we play basketball or you guys play basketball, I play soccer, and whatever it is, like you still have, you know, other hours in your day where you're doing stuff where you can affect things. You have other things that you're interested in. So I think for me, the legacy part comes in, like, I don't really think about it too much. I know I, you know, make a lot of people mad. So I suppose my legacy is doing fine. I feel like as long as I keep stirring the pot, everything will be fine. Yeah. But just kind of realizing like the power and how much support that we have all of the time. I think oftentimes when you're sort of making that decision, do I speak out or not? You always think of like, what am I going to lose? But I kind of like flip that on its head, and it's like, well, what can we gain? And how many other people are feeling like this? And who can we inspire? Who can we sort of, you know, lend our platform to?
I was going to ask you, Megan, like, how much do you and your national team teammates talk about messaging? Or is like there's a few of you that are just kind of going rogue, or is this like we're gonna have a clear message of what we're after?
Now we definitely have a very clear message. I would say the last like 3-4 years, kind of since 2015, after that World Cup win, we were kind of like, okay, as a players association, we're not like locked in and organized the way that we needed to be. So as that's sort of become more robust, we have like very clear messaging now, and kind of like not a hierarchy, but like a leadership structure now. And we have like help with our media and how we want to phrase things. And I think now it's like super solid, and we've kind of empowered different people in different positions. Like some of our most powerful players are, never in the media, never say anything, but like within the team and sort of like within, whether we're negotiating or this lawsuit, whatever, they're kind of the driving voices. And then we've sort of identified like, hey, like who's most powerful in the media, who's going to make the most splash, who says things the right way, and who's willing to like step out there and say it. So I feel like, I talk a lot in the media, or Alex talks a lot in the media, but
sure,
like we're sort of all speaking on behalf of everyone. I mean, not everything I say, sometimes I drag them along with me, but but for the most part, it's like we're sort of lockstep, and then we're like, okay, these are the people that are going to be most impactful.
As I've gotten older in my career, I just want to piggyback something Sue said, but as I've gotten older in my career, it's not that I value winning any less, but I've learned to value other things. Mm-hmm. Whereas like college at Duke or early in my NBA career, like it's literally all I thought about. And I would measure everything against that. And so it became, if I don't win an NBA championship, or I didn't win a college championship, then my legacy isn't meaningful and I'm not leaving an impact or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then as I've gotten older, I've realized, this mentoring thing has become like really, really important for me. And the last 3 years, my 2 years in Philly and this year in New Orleans, it's been like incredibly rewarding. And it's not, I say this to people all the time, like, it's not like I want credit for it, because I don't. It's just like, I actually enjoy it. And like, for me, the greatest joy is going to be like, if Nickeil Alexander-Walker in 5 or 6 years is an all-star, I'm going to be, I hope my name never gets mentioned, but I would be the happiest person if that happens. You know what I mean? So it becomes like, I don't know, that's where the value is created a little differently as you get older.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
it's like your kids.
Yeah. Really, yeah. Like, I know some of them are young enough. Yeah. But like early on in my career, like I've been lucky to play on the national team. We've been very successful. And, it's like after you win, you're kind of like, I mean, it's great. Of course, it's going to be, part of, history and whatever. But then you do like just go back to work, and you do like you are then around the same people, and then you are like kind of doing the exact same thing. So it's not like it doesn't mean anything. Of course it does. And that's like your goal every season is to win and do the best that you can. But I feel like for me, I kind of realized that after winning, I'm kind of like, okay, there's a lot more to this than just that. If you put everything in that, then you get there and you're like, okay. Well,
but the two of you have both won so much.
Like, I know, like here we are. It's not that important.
It's like, it's not that important. I've won everything there is to win, but
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times.